Hey, Chris Lipe here with the isolated vocals for BYOB, System of a Down, Serj Tankian, and his guitar sidekick and background vocalist or fellow screamer, Darren. And a lot of you have probably seen my video, How to Sing Like Serj Tankian, and I feature some of BYOB in that video, but I thought it would be a great idea to go through the whole song, and coming across these isolated vocals made this even more exciting for me. It's a fairly stripped back production, but you really get a sense for the character value in the vocal performance, and you also hear the layers in a new way that you don't with all the other things going on. So I'm really excited to get into this with you. Please like and subscribe to the channel and turn those notifications on so that you keep being made aware of when I release new videos. And if you'd like to go way deeper with me, and you'd like me to be your vocal coach as you discover more and more about what your voice can really do, click the link below and join my free voice course. That's the best place to start, and there's all sorts of other things that I offer after you've gone through that primer group of lessons. All right, here we go.
Barbarisms by Barbras with pointed heels. Victorious kneel for brand new spanking deals. Marching for...
All right, we have to point out a few things right off the bat. That's Darren at the beginning. Why do they always send the poor? And this, I've said stuff like this before, but this is a prime example of an abandoned scream where, especially with these isolated tracks, there's cracking all over the place. He doesn't care that his voice is completely out of control. That's part of the character. And there's all sorts of middle grounds that you hear in other singers to this same effect. If we go into this thinking that we're gonna have this super metal controlled scream, or we're afraid of being vulnerable, we're not gonna pull off this level of character representation or intensity. We don't want it to be, why do they always send the poor? We don't want that. We want it to be, why do they always send the poor? We want it to be this blend of abandon and not overthinking anything. Yes, we need to have things placed correctly in our throat, our vocal tract, so that things don't hurt. We have to understand how to deliver this kind of energy through our vocal tract so that we don't injure ourselves. But we don't want to control things too much. Why do they always send the poor? You can hear the vulnerability and the variance there because there's a sense of abandon. This is not a fry scream, a super controlled low air passage sort of thing. This is complete abandon. Now, after Darren does his out-of-control opening...
Barbarisms by Barbras with pointed heels.
With pointed heels! I mean, if you need any more evidence that great vocals are characters, I don't know. This is it. I mean, this is a stage play to spastic music, and you can hear it even more so as these isolated vocals move forward.
By Barbras with pointed heels. Victorious kneel for brand new spanking deals.
Notice he doesn't have really any regard for pitch or actual notes until deals. Deals! But we've got
Victorious kneel for brand new spanking.
And he's using some vocal compression in there to give brand new. And he's kind of also, there's a crow about what he's doing. Brand new spanking deals. Brand new spanking deals.
Victorious kneel for brand deals. Marching forward, hypocritic and hypnotic computers. You depend on our protection, yet you feed us lies from the tablecloth.
I love this line.
You depend on
our protection. I mean, it's so sarcastic and so laden with I get this almost Disney cartoon sort of, here's this guy shouting, "You depend on." It's crazy. I love the way that this comes across, and then the way he brings it into lies from the table.
Feed us lies from the tablecloth.
Feed us lies from the tablecloth. So let's get into character here. And let's not worry too much about doing exactly what he's doing, but grabbing the essence of the character.
You depend on our protection.
You depend on our protection. Yet
you depend on our protection, yet you feed us lies from the tablecloth.
Yet he's got that. You depend. There's this mixed voice throw up there. You depend, but he's speaking, so there's no necessity to hit pitches, but then he goes full goober, right? You depend on our protection. Right here with this section.
Protection, yet you feed
us. Yeah. And you get that the same way that Darren gets his yeah. Yeah. Let your voice be low and then crack into your chest or head voice. And then lean into that in between. E. And then be very focused on the E vowel. Yet you.
Protection, yet you feed us lies from.
And then open it up. Yet it's dynamic placement, right? Yet you feed us lies from the tablecloth. La 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 la. So much variance here. So cool.
La 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 la.
Now, you can hear, this is a really cool thing to hear, actually. Listen to this.
La 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 la.
It's very low larynx, right? He just went from "you depend on" to la 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 la. Dropped larynx, and then listen to this. I didn't hear this in the original recording or the full recording. This is pitch corrected. We have performance all over the place, right? Where they've left the imperfections in because it's so just out there anyway, and pitch correction wouldn't work because of the way the performance is, but they needed these to be in tune. So they pitch corrected that. This is part of the things that you don't necessarily hear, but feel, and why strategic use of pitch correction, not overuse, but strategic use can be so great. Because it dialed up the contrast here. We have out of control.
La 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 la.
La 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 la. Super engaged pitch. Yeah, they probably could have had him retrack that and really dial it in, but they liked something about the original take enough to keep it and just moderate the pitch a little bit.
Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time.
But they didn't try to correct everything. Real is out of pitch, right? This is spot treatment.
Party, have a real good.
He's sharp there a little bit. These background vocals are pretty awesome. It sounds like they're using other vocalists. It sounds like there's some females in there, but it also sounds like there's this group of everybody's going.
Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time.
And we'll get into more of this as they build these layers later. But the contrast in vocal textures is great. He relaxes a little bit and lets those background vocals take the rhythm. Notice rhythmically what he's doing.
Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time.
This is loose, right? It's not, we haven't vocalized everything and made it very, very tight. We purposely have this looseness, and it fits the vibe of the song.
Dancing in the desert, blowing up the sunshine.
Kneeling roses disappearing into Moses' dry mouth, breaking into Fort Knox, stealing our intentions.
This is really fun to work with. And it partially is just because it's so constant, and you've got those two pitches.
Kneeling roses disappearing into Moses' dry mouth.
La 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 la. Kneeling roses disappearing into Moses' dry mouth. Kneeling roses disappearing into Moses' dry Now, we're purposely not trying to be too accurate. We're trying to be bouncy and spastic, but blend together. And I wanted more of this sort of, we'll call it anxious sound at the bottom of the performance. Kneeling roses disappearing into Moses' dry mouth. Kneeling Moses. And I could probably be a little bit more like that. I might try that again. Now that I have this top one, because I like the confident nature of this one. Kneeling roses disappearing into Moses' dry mouth. Let's try this one again. Kneeling roses disappearing. I want to be a little bit more anxious. Kneeling roses disappearing into Moses' dry mouth. That wasn't as good of a performance, but it was a more engaged performance. Kneeling roses disappearing into Moses' dry mouth. Yeah. It's really neat to try some of that stuff in inspiration, being driven by the inspiration and seeing what comes out. That doesn't sound a whole lot like me, but using that tight harmony and getting into character and having a slightly different character with each voice that I do really helps drive this genre into my voice. Kneeling roses disappearing into Moses' dry mouth. It's not perfect, but it's cool. Listening on.
Breaking into Fort Knox, stealing our intentions. And sitting gripped in oil, crying freedom. And the toe of salvation, still you feed a slice from the tablecloth.
What a great scream, right?
Crying freedom.
That's a pitch scream. Freedom! Do that first, and then bring in the false chord engagement. Crying freedom! Freedom! Let your voice crack as you're dialing it in, but the goal is
freedom!
It's not the point of the pitch. The pitch is going to help us get the right timbre, but this isn't like a, pegged sort of Chris Cornellian type scream, but we want the timbre. So we go for the pitch to get the timbre. Crying freedom! And then we can take out the intentional note like it happens here.
Freedom!
He's going down in pitch there. He's not going for a note. Freedom!
And the toe of salvation, still you feed a slice from the tablecloth.
Yeah.
La 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 la.
Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time.
Have a real good time. Notice the smile on him. Sometimes we lose the ability to smile when we start singing low. We think it needs to be subdued because we just went, cry freedom! And then we end up swallowing our words a little bit. But here, everybody's going to the party, have a real good time. It's important that we maintain smile to blend and to make sure that our voice doesn't get buried because we're trapping our own voice.
Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time.
Love the blend of all the harmonies.
Dancing in the desert, blowing up the sunshine.
Let's build this and work on defining and placing different characters within our voice to get a similar blend. Yeah, they're using different voices. No big deal. Let's see what we can do with it. Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time. Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time. We're actually good that the pitches are off just a little bit. This is a group of concerned characters. Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time. There's some soul in those. Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time. Let's switch up the texture of my high voice for these other doubles. We're going to be more open and lower larynx, less smile. Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time. It's also less agile on that track. Let's blend these together. Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time. And then the original.
Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time.
Fun to see what comes out with your own voice for sure. Moving on.
Blast off! It's party time! And we don't live in a fascist nation! Blast off! It's party time! And where the f*** are you? Where the f*** are you?
So, of course, the Darren's completely out of control screams with all those cracks. It's wonderful. I love it when they start going together here.
Are you? Why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor? Why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor?
We've got Serge doubling himself here.
Why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor?
Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? That very narrative, out of control, controlled, and then we've got the blood-curdling screams over the top. It's a neat blend.
Why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor? Why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor?
Notice the scream turns into more of a yell here. We have less of the cracking, and we have more of this.
Why do they always send the poor?
Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? We've got both of those going on. Practice doing that with your own voice. Be Jekyll and Hyde or Serge and Darren. Why do they always send the poor? 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 Why do they always send the why? Practice doing that with your own voice, because if you can do that and go back and forth like that, you're going to have an amazing ability to harness characters and capture them in the recorded medium, and you're going to be a lot more interest live if you can not rely on the recorded medium to capture that character. This ability to go in between and explore extremes and execute this way is gold for live performance and engagement.
They always send the poor!
Kneeling roses disappearing into Moses' dry mouth, breaking into Fort Knox, stealing our intentions. Anger sitting dripped in oil, crying freedom, handed to obsolescence.
Awesome scream again.
Still you feed us lies from the tablecloth.
Notice how he's a bit more, it almost sounds like he's intentionally tired here. It's not lies from the tablecloth. Not that this time. It's intentional that he's, still you feed us lies, right? He's engaging with the arc of the character within the song.
Still you feed us lies from the tablecloth.
Still you feed us lies from the tablecloth. He's a bit more nasal. Lies from, but the way he sighs out of lies. Still you feed us lies from the tablecloth. Oh.
La 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 la.
Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time.
Simple there. There's not that harmony, or there's not that driving la 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 in there.
Dancing in the desert, blowing up the sunshine.
Then
Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time.
love the addition of that as it builds.
Dancing in the desert, blowing up the sun. Where the f are you? Where the f are you?
Oh, he's going crazy.
Yo!
Yo! Letting that pitch go all over the place.
Why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor? Why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor?
Yeah.
Why do they always send the poor? Why do?
So I like the rhythm change here. You know, we're much more abandoned here.
Why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always?
And then, of course, the whole attitude changes, but I liked what the vocals do. There's more breath, there's shorter phrases, same words. Great writing.
Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor?
You got the clean guy. Why do they always send the poor? And why do they always send the poor? Why do? They've got that nice contrast. That's what builds this beautiful sound. Maybe beautiful isn't the right word. It is beautiful.
Always send the poor. Why do they always send the poor?
Also notice that Darren is more yelling here. He's gotten rid of that cracky. He's tightened it up a bit.
Always send the poor. Why do they always send the poor? They always send the poor. They always send the poor.
Ooh, the poor! Why do?
They always send the poor!
He's centered on that pitch. They always send the poor! They always send the poor! It's all... It really does remind me of like this Warner Brothers cartoon episode where you've got these Tasmanian devils and things happening all over the place and tanks blowing up. I mean, that's exactly what they wanted you to get out of this. And if you watch them perform this live, I mean, they're just all over the place. And they've really captured that in the studio performance. Really fun going through this level of character development and arc and storytelling in an isolated vocal setting. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Again, if you'd like more help with your own vocals and exploring your voice further, click the link below and join my free vocal course. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you for more.